John Wayne Gacy murdered 33 young men and boys, many of them buried beneath his home on Summerdale Avenue. He was arrested in 1978. That same home on Summerdale is where Gacy lived with his family before his divorce.
He didn't have an opportunity during those years from about 1971 till they all were out of the house in late 75 to bury bodies there. He needed a place to bury bodies.
Could that place be here on Chicago's Northwest Side? Those were the same years Gacy worked as a maintenance man at this building at Elston and Miami. Former homicide detective Bill Dorsch knew Gacy back then and says he once saw him at 3 in the morning with a shovel. Now neighbors have come forward to share their stories. Mike Nelson lived across the street from the building and at age 11 started doing yard work and odd jobs for neighbors. But no job was more odd than the work he did for Gacy. The window to Gacy's basement workshop was painted black, and Nelson says Gacy dug strange trenches and even dug a hole in the parking lot simply to repave it.
I guess his thought process kicked in. It's like, well, they were blacktopping a gravel driveway. Why did they dig 5-6 feet down to put in a blacktop when you would want the ground to be solid? So as I learned more about construction, the more odd it became. But again, who was I to question? There's too many strange oddities that went on, that there's something that was being hidden.
In 1998, the Chicago Police Department returned to the building and used ground-penetrating radar to search for clues beneath the soil. They dug 2 holes and found a saucepan, a marble, and some wire. But our report last year revealed a letter from the radar company wondering why police dug 2 holes when the radar company found as many as 17 potential targets. Police have said they didn't have enough evidence to tear up the entire property. John Ignafo lived across the street from the building and was up many nights with a sick child. He says he'd see Gacy digging in the dark.
I saw John outside. He was either digging or he was doing something, and I saw these bags. I thought they were bags of cement. To this day, I don't know what they were. So there was never any uniformity about what he was doing or why he was doing it. So we just kind of thought he was a little strange.
Why do you think it's important for authorities to maybe come in here and find those answers?
Because I definitely believe there's bodies buried there. Definitely.
Ignafo says his wife called police but never got a response. Former detective Bill Dorsch says authorities have always been hesitant to investigate.
Any body found here, even 20 years later in '98, there was going to have to be an explanation for it. You know, that we can now identify people from DNA, so we can take it back to the family, and the families may step forward and say, we told the police about my son being missing. We told the police maybe that my son had a relationship to Gacy. They did nothing.
Sheriff Tom Dart says new technology would make an investigation easier and less invasive than the dig in 1998. Still, the owner of the property denied his request to dig, and the state's attorney denied his request for a search warrant.
We presented it to the state's attorney's office some months ago, and they denied our ability to get the search warrant. They did not think we had enough evidence, enough probable cause to go ahead and dig.
For now, the sheriff continues to investigate and says perhaps new leads in the future could help him obtain a search warrant and someday provide answers for neighbors. Mike Nelson wonders why he survived his encounter with Gacy when so many didn't. John Ignafo is relieved as well.